right, I'd like to call to order the Board of Education business meeting and certification of the budget vote and tenure appointments of Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. It's so nice to see everybody, and we're very excited for our tenure recipients. Congratulations. Also want to thank the community for turning out to vote in support of our budget, and congratulations to Catherine Cohen and Dara Gordon. And I'm sure they'll do an excellent job and be joining for the board retreat in August, which I'm not free in August, so planning my vacation. So without further ado, we'll move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you so much, Dr. O'Mashane. And just welcome everyone here tonight. This is probably the biggest audience I remember in a very long time. And it's great that it's that big for a wonderful reason. So we're really excited tonight. Before we do, I just as well want to thank the community for the support of the budget. This started as my budget, became the board's budget, and now it's the community's budget. So we're really thankful for the continued support. Also, thank you for the support of passing the resolution to allow us to withdraw to do some repairs at Glover Field. And I as well just want to thank our current board president and vice president for their incredible service to the district for the last 3 years. They have really set a clear focus for us, a lot of goals that we have been really proud for the clarity and thankful to be able to deliver on. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your counsel and your partnership. I know we'll be advising or having more chances to celebrate you as we get to the last board meeting of the year, but I just want to thank you for your service. And as Michael said, 2 candidates will be joining the board as of July 1, and that would be Catherine Cohen and Dara Gordon. So we look forward to, a lot can be accomplished in that short time between now and July 4th. So we look forward to that continued work. Tonight is one of the most exciting nights for us. In addition to the art show that's over in the library that you can see on your way back down, and the science symposium that will be immediately below us beginning at 7:30, which we hope folks will also take the opportunity to see. The various concerts going around. Tonight marks one of the most important milestones in an educator's career. It is one that is not easily achieved, especially here in Pelham, where educators go through what we affectionately call the gauntlet to be hired in the first place. This includes resume screenings, screening interviews, site-based team meetings, committee interviews, demo lessons, performance tasks, finalist interviews at the cabinet level, and then recommendations to the Board of Education. Those instructional staff who are then invited to join the Pelham family are then provided mentoring by a veteran colleague and supervised by an outstanding corps of administrators, being observed by building administrators, directors, supervisors, assistant superintendent for teaching learning, assistant superintendent for PPS in some cases, the executive director for human resources and leadership, and even finally, in their tenure year, by me, as superintendent. So it's no easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. Probationary administrators go through a similar process as well here in Pelham. And additionally, our families share their perspectives throughout the probationary period to help us as educational leaders understand the impact of their work on our students. All of this feedback is then reviewed by the Board of Education on an annual basis throughout each candidate's probationary period, culminating in tonight's main event, the awarding of tenure to our outstanding educators tonight. 14 educators that we'll be honoring this evening. Most of this group was hired during the remote and hybrid years of the pandemic. And in addition to being one of our largest cohorts, they wound up being one of our most talented. And their areas of instruction include range from elementary education, special education, English as a new language, speech, occupational therapy, school counseling, art, music, math, science, technology, and even a teaching assistant. Areas that span the spectrum of the rich educational and support services to which our students have access. These students have demonstrated their commitment to both our students, both inside and outside of the classroom, and have brought new energy and expertise to their departments, and for those things, we are truly grateful. While tenure is a milestone on this journey, we also recognize that it is far from an end point. Tonight marks the start of the next chapter of your professional journey, and I know that each of you and importantly for your students, for each of you, the best is yet to come. Thank you to the colleagues, friends, and family who are here tonight to share in this exciting event. Thank you for your support and your encouragement along the way. And thank you to our administrators who are also here tonight to honor colleagues and also to celebrate and share a bit more about each of our candidates for tenure this evening. With that, I am going to move over to the microphone, and I'm going to invite a series of administrators to come and talk about the folks in their buildings and under their leadership that they supervise, and share some comments so that we can celebrate and get to know each of them. So I'm going to move over there. Given the other events of the night, I'm going to invite Dr. Callahan to meet me at the microphone. He's going to be helping to talk about our first series of candidates. I'm pleased to have Dr. Callahan with me. Dr. Callahan is our Director of Math and Science, also oversees technology. And there are 4 teachers within his departments that he, and together with Mr. Sabalos, our Director of Technology, will also be honoring tonight. So we're going to begin with, I believe it's the Quack Man?
Yes.
The Quack Man. Amit A.J. Quackenbush. We invite AJ, please come join us at the microphone. Come on up.
So this year's cohort of teachers earning tenure and administrators as well are truly unique. Many, if not most of them, interviewed over Google Meets during a global pandemic that none of us are likely to forget, despite the negative consequences of that era of atypical educational practice. Success stories emerged from the difficult days of COVID. In my view, this class of teachers and administrators symbolizes what can happen when we persevere through challenges to accomplish great things. As teachers new to our district, and in some cases new to education as novice educators or even career changers, the COVID times allowed them to show how innovative they could truly be. In addition to teaching content areas, like our other teachers and administrators, they had to help our students through a challenging environment, and when they returned, reteach some of the social and emotional skills that were seemingly lost over 2 years' time. Simple things like working in groups, using technology in academically honest ways, and even how to communicate interpersonally in social situations had to be revisited. Again, in my view, this allowed this group of teachers to shine and ultimately earn the tenure acknowledgement that they are receiving this evening. So before continuing with our first recipient, really quickly to the members of math and science departments who work alongside the educators that I'm going to acknowledge tonight. These are truly remarkable educators. This evening is a celebration of your work as a team as well, and I'd like to give a special thanks to all of the people that served as mentors to these individuals over the past few years. I am very fortunate to be part of departments that continually grow, change, and innovate so that our students can both feel supported socially and emotionally, while at the same time are challenged with a rigorous and top-notch academic experience. So now, on to our special guests and their accomplishment. The first tenure candidate would normally be very difficult for me to talk about, but his value as a member of the math department far outweighs the one glaring fault I have uncovered over the past few years. During the fall, Mr. Quackenbush drapes himself in Buffalo Bills red, white, and blue, and passionately, there we go, that's not even Miss Lavigny, I don't think, and passionately supports this divisional adversary of my beloved New England Patriots. Along with Miss Lavigny, our department coach, they are the very definition of diehard fans. Not easy to witness, but especially as our not easy to witness, especially as our dynasty has deteriorated. But in all seriousness, the passion Mr. Quackenbush demonstrates for the bills never exceeds his love for being a teacher. Anyone who knows AJ is aware of the fact that he truly believes being a teacher is a calling. From his Twitter posts on the mathematics of his summer home improvement projects to collecting student polling data on what his license plate should read, Mr. Quackenbush embodies what it means to be a facilitator of intellectual growth for others. By the way, it's Quackman, in case anybody wanted to know what the winner of that poll was. So while he takes being a teacher very seriously, he keeps learning in perspective. He knows students learn best in a culture that is rigorous, but also balances rigor with appropriate levels of support. He inspires confidence in his students, listens to their voices, designs meaningful and relevant tasks to engage them, and he is there when they need help. AJ has also demonstrated through his actions that educators who are respected and viewed as approachable are easier to learn from. This is evident throughout the year as he embraces our culture here, dressing up in spirit gear for almost any occasion he can, sporting flashy suits and interesting headpieces to show our kids that being part of an educational community and environment is more than just textbooks. That is why I practically had to pry Mr. Quackenbush away from Miss Sabia in the middle school when we needed a calculus teacher. AJ is a hard person to trade, and although retirement in the department really necessitated it, I'm not sure it's something she's forgiven me for yet. Mr. Quackenbush's range from being able to teach middle school math to high school AP calculus makes him an asset. But even more importantly, his ability to make difficult concepts accessible through pro-growth and constructivist approaches makes him effective and sought after. Mr. Quackenbush's family, I know, must be especially proud of the educator he has become, whether it's his mom as a BOE member on Long Island or his wife, who has been on her own professional journey while balancing these commitments here and having a very gorgeous little baby, Indira, who's over there in the corner. Over the last few months, we've witnessed AJ's path to tenure in Pelham. The excitement for him and for tonight is real. It is no wonder at all that he was selected as one of New York State's master teachers earlier this year. That's something his colleagues, his students, and the people who are around him already knew. AJ, it's an honor on behalf of the district to congratulate you on earning tenure this evening.
Our next honoree this evening that I invite forward at this time is Dr. Lori Tortorella.
So we were happy to announce earlier in this year that several of our students were semi-finalists for the prestigious Regeneron STS competition. In the spring, out of over 700 students in the area, 3 of the top 20 were from Pelham and competed in the International Science and Engineering Fair, which concluded last weekend in Los Angeles. We're extremely proud of our students, but what you may not know, because she will never tell you this, is that our next tenure recipient played a large role in guiding our students to success in those venues. Dr. Tortorella does not promote herself and will rarely take credit for the amazing things her students accomplish, but they do truly amazing things. Last year, after finally being able to teach chemistry in a lab, along with their partners, the district had some of the highest Regents scores in our recent history. These are, and should be, only a few points we look at when we evaluate the worth of an educator, because Lori is also, as the students will report, one of the nicest people you could ever meet. She will do anything to help a student, spending countless hours offering tutoring or proofreading an essay. The smile from her face never leaves, see? Right? She is positive, optimistic, pro-growth, and totally student-centered. Initially, Dr. Tortorella was changing careers and moving away from her previous job in research. Again, you would never know this because she's one of the most humble and kind people you could ever encounter, but she is quite typically one of the smartest people in a room. She earned a fellowship in chemistry as an undergraduate biochemistry major at Stony Brook before moving to Boston University's medical school, where she earned her doctorate, her PhD in biochemistry. Her story on how she decided on Stony Brook, which is one that involved reasonable risk-taking and perseverance, is one that I loved hearing about and highlights why she teaches with empathy and compassion in an area, chemistry, that is often challenging for students given its very abstract nature. Lori was initially a student observer and then a student teacher here with us. When one of our teachers went out on a leave, I asked her if she would take over. She was hesitant for one reason, and one reason alone: she did not want to be a disservice to our students as a newly trained educator. If you know Dr. Tortorella, that never happens. Because she worries so much about providing the best possible experience for students, and then acts on that, she does now, as we look back, always surpass expectations and continues to do so. The pandemic literally hit while she was brand new to the class as a leave replacement. She adapted, went virtual, and did an amazing job teaching advanced placement biology under the most difficult of circumstances. It was then I knew we had to make her a permanent part of the science department. When a position opened up, we asked her to take it. She balanced completing her teacher certs with teaching a full-time leave assignment and then still going home to see Gianna and Nico through their own middle school journeys, make them dinner and check on them as well. That kept her up very, very late at night, by the way. I remember those days. Dr. Tortorella made a request last year that I believe is one of the best reflections of who she is as an educator. She said, "Tom," and this is paraphrasing, "I really like teaching kids who need a little extra help understanding chemistry. If you can assign me to some of those classes, I would love to challenge them to get it." Lori brings that approach to all of our programs. So while we sometimes celebrate those really public accomplishments, like Regent scores, STS, and ISF wins, the real victories is instilling in students a love of learning and a love of science. And that's what Dr. Tortorella is always about. Sometimes Lori is so good at balancing her roles as a chemistry teacher and the extra assignment she does teaching research with our seniors, we forget that she cannot possibly be in more than one place because she is so student-centered, but also values her colleagues so much. I can tell you, she was sitting here this evening with her family, stressed out about not being downstairs with her seniors for their symposium, and with her fellow teachers at the same time so as to not disappoint them. So I hope you'll all join me in giving her permission to stay for a bit longer before departing to see her seniors present downstairs in the gym as we tell her how grateful we are for her service to the district. Her positivity is truly contagious, and our students, faculty, and staff feel that whenever she's around. Congratulations, Dr. Tortorella.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. For our next tenure candidate, I'm going to invite Mr. Sabalos to join us. And together he and Dr. Callahan will be honoring and recognizing Sarah Williamson. Sarah, come on.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a little help on this one, acknowledging our next tenure recipient from my colleague, John Sabalos, as Dr. Champ mentioned. I've only supervised Sarah for really 1 year, and John was her supervisor prior to our reorganization of the secondary tech education department last year. But in that short time, I've learned that Sarah is really a superstar and a piece to our tech teaching team we really needed. Math, science, and tech teachers, as many of you know, are very hard to find. In my estimation, we struck gold when Sarah applied. When you visit her classroom, the kids are engaged. Every aspect of the lesson is meticulously planned and, even more impressively, linked to something the students genuinely find relevant and interested in. Learning in class is project-based, aligned with best practices in the field of technology teaching, and geared at getting students to think critically and design solutions to problems. Ms. Williamson has harnessed the power of inquiry to drive learning in our tech program, and alongside Mr. Rogers and Mr. Battersby, have formed a good team to move us forward into even more ambitious tech-related academic pursuits and programming. She often says, "Tom, I have an idea. I want to see if I could do this." And from that idea, cross-collaborative, multidisciplinary projects are born. Sarah has leveraged the good relationships she has with her colleagues and peers to integrate technology across all of the subject areas, which is the hallmark of any good 21st century technology program in effective schools. I am very excited to see Sarah granted tenure this evening. Her presence in the middle school has made a real and palpable difference there. Congratulations.
So nice you got two of us to do a little speech for you. So lucky. Well, tonight we're here to honor Miss Sarah Williamson. Sarah embodies the values of a lifelong learner, approaching every day with curiosity, creativity, and an eagerness to explore new ideas. Her teaching style encourages students to embrace their imaginations and learn through hands-on experiences, fostering a love not just for technology but for learning. One of the things I actually got to do over the last couple of weeks was ask her peers, what makes Sarah such a great educator and a peer? The answers wouldn't surprise anybody in this room. She's creative, innovative, finds meaningful ways to incorporate STEM into the 7th grade curriculum, collaborates with all of her peers across the grade level, making her a real member of the 7th grade team. Another colleague also said she stays on top of her planning and grading, includes herself in all team meetings where she presents invaluable insights and perspective into our students' experiences. She truly brings a light to our team, and we're so lucky to have her. And while I can go on and on with the great things her peers had to say, I thought the most impactful thing I heard was from one of her students who said, her lessons and style of teaching are engaging and fun. The best project we've done is the shipping container project because it's interesting to have the opportunity to play around with interior design and structural design. It speaks to the work Sarah has done to revamp and realign the middle school technology program. It brings out her original experiences in the elementary schools and personifies lifelong kindergarten in action. It's an honor to receive tenure in the Pelham Public Schools. It demonstrates excellence both in and out of the classroom. She's always willing to go above and beyond for her students and her peers to make the middle school experience better each day. A mentor once told me that tenure does not represent an end, but the beginning to a new chapter, with even higher expectations and responsibilities as an educator. I look forward to watching Sarah grow as an educator and a leader. Congratulations.
So for our next series of folks, we have Mr. Fareed Johnson, who will be introducing our next few tenure candidates. We're going to begin with Siwanoy's Mickey Katz.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to adjust this mic. I don't want to get yelled at for not speaking into it. First of all, thank you, Board of Education, for everything that you do for our schools. Huh? Oh, you got me? All right. I don't want to get yelled at. All right. So I want to thank the Board of Education. Thank you for all your help. It's like, make some noise for yourself, guys. Clap. Come on. You guys. There's a lot of people here. It's hot. I can say a lot about Mickey, but I'll try to keep it short. But I feel like all of these candidates are very deserving of what we have to say. So please don't get upset if it's a little long. When I was hired, my first big task was to hire a 4th grade teacher. I was part of a large committee because soon to be Dr. Carr, a friend right there, was also looking for a teacher. It's amazing that both of the teachers we hired during that time are both here tonight receiving tenure. So congratulations to you as well, Ashley. I did hear that her parents are here. She's not here, so congratulations, parents of Ashley. There is so much that I can say about Mickey. When we interviewed him, he was not as experienced as most of the candidates, but boy did he rise to the occasion. He was poised, articulate, thoughtful, and extremely genuine. Although he is the son of the legendary music teacher, Mr. Katz, he has never tried to use that name to gain any type of advantage or clout. From day one, he told me that he wanted to be his own person and have his own identity. That was something that I admire about him the most. So we have to remember that people receiving tenure tonight were hired during the pandemic, something we don't really want to talk about, but it happened. To say times were stressful would be an understatement. Through it all, Mr. Katz remained focused, innovative, and had a can-do attitude. He was always willing to go above and beyond for the betterment of our students and community as a whole. Mr. Katz has always been someone that has wanted to learn and grow every step of the way. His risk-taking mentality has proven to be successful. I always talk to my teachers about taking risks and not letting the overhanging carrot of not having tenure get in the way of being creative, innovative, and having tough conversations in the name of doing what is right for our students. I only had to have this conversation with him once because Mr. Katz does not hold back. I always know I will get the truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to Mickey. In the classroom, he is dynamic. To this day, he still holds the record for the best math lesson that I've ever seen in all my years of being an administrator. Pretty sure it was better than any math lesson I had done as a teacher, and that's saying a lot because I think I was an awesome teacher. He has fun with his students, but they always aim to meet the high expectation he has for them. Mr. Katz does daily affirmations with his students every morning, and this movement has taken Silenor by storm. More importantly, it has given our students the power to know they are special and should never feel anything less than that. As a colleague, well, I'll let them tell you for themselves. And this is a couple of statements from some colleagues of his. Mickey jumped right in, ready to learn about all the unique things about the fifth grade experience. He is a great team player. Mickey always brings a fresh perspective to our work. He's eager to learn and grow as a teacher, and at the same time is an active participant in planning and the development of our curriculum. His dedication to students' social and emotional well-being is beyond compare as he forms deep connections with each student, making them feel important and accepted in his classroom community. Working with Mickey, I was so impressed with how he was eager to adapt to our ever-changing plans at the height of the pandemic. He was always listening and open to new ideas. The love students have for him is just insane. He's always happy to volunteer for lunch duty, committees, and more. It has been great working with Mickey. He is always willing to help and share ideas. He always has a positive outlook towards students and peers. Congrats to him. Now, if that's not enough, wait until you hear what his students have to say about him. And get your tissues ready. And this is when it gets a little long-winded. Mr. Katz always makes me so happy. I've had him as a teacher for 2 whole years. And just about every day he has had a smile on his face, and that's a lot of smiles. I love how he's both serious and funny. He is patient with us, and he has spent a lot of time with me personally, helping me become a better mathematician. I can't believe how much more I know now than I did in September 2022. One thing that makes him really special is that he respects us. It makes us feel like we are all in it together. He reminds us every day to believe in ourselves. He literally makes us circle around the room and repeat affirmations, but I'm not mad about that. Another thing that Mr. Katz is how he shares parts of his life with us. For example, we know his favorite food, potatoes, his favorite team, the Yankees, and the very special, and I mean very special, egg night. It's cool that he is willing to share those personal details with us. It makes us feel like I know him better and we can trust him. A lot of teachers don't share this stuff. Also, one thing you should ask him to do tonight, demonstrate one of his handshakes. Mine, Spider-Man Wiggle Cactus. I hope this made you happy, Mr. Katz, AKA the best teacher ever. And I wish I could be there to see you. I'll come visit you next year. Mr. Katz has always been such a good teacher over the past 2 years for me. He is kind, responsible, and always has a plan. He has taught me many things, and everything is very important. One thing I enjoy most about him is that he is very enthusiastic. His lessons are very enthusiastic and a lot of fun. He has taught me so many things over the past 2 years, and he always teaches in a very kind way. And there's another student that's here tonight. I'm not going to call her up because I know we have a lot, but Annabelle definitely came to show her support for her teacher, Mr. Katz, and she definitely had some words for him. She'll tell him tomorrow. I'm not going to call her up right now because I know we're running out of, we have a lot of people to get through. But Mr. Katz is our school culture coach. He is on our site-based committee. He does lunch duty, helps with intramurals, is a Pelham softball coach, and shows up to many of our school events. It is truly an honor to recommend Mr. Katz for tenure. He is truly an incredible human being.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson's going to stay as our next honoree is another Siwanoy teacher. Please welcome and help me in congratulating Brianna Infante.
All right. This is perfect because I figured you'd go in alphabetical order, so I have my speeches in alphabetical order. Ms. Infante, as you know, was also hired during COVID times. Her interview and demo all had to be virtual. Not only was it virtual, she had to act as if she was in front of a classroom without any students. Like Mickey had the best math lesson, this interview and demo was very well done. She was energetic, lively, articulate, and passionate about what she was doing. Right away, I knew I wanted her on our team. Although she too did not have much experience, I am a huge believer in giving those a chance that seem to have the it factor. You can be teaching for 30 years and still not have it. I always say that I can teach someone how to teach, but it's hard to teach a person how to love kids. Throughout her time, Brianna has proven to be a lover of kids, whether it's letting her students give her different hairstyles or hugging a student that needs a little extra love. Her dedication to the well-being of her students is something I never had to question. She has taught kindergarten and first grade, and all of her students adore her. My office is across the hall from her classroom, and her previous students always come around to say hello and give her hugs or share a story from their current grade. Here are some comments from her students. Please remember, they're in first grade. She did not yell at all, and she always let us play when we were doing the right thing. She let a lot of people have chances to answer questions. She is pretty and nice. She teaches us things that we did not know. If we really beg her, she lets us have another story of Junie B. Jones. She gives out prizes when students are caught doing something nice for others. She gives us lots of hugs. As a colleague, she is well loved and respected. Although she is quiet and a reserved individual by nature during the school day, she can really turn it on during social events. I'm pretty sure she might be two different people in the same body. But in all seriousness, she is willing to do anything to grow, and she takes feedback very well. Whenever we have a conversation after an observation or just in general, she takes what I say very seriously and tries to immediately implement the strategy right away. She is a good friend to others and is extremely selfless. Her colleagues had this to say about her. Brianna is an incredibly creative teacher. She engages her students in art projects that tie beautifully into the curriculum. She is a technology whiz with Google, earning certification in their programs, and has helped many of us navigate the software. Flexible and friendly, Brianna is a wonderful asset to our Siwanoy team. Brianna has a beautiful way with her students. She is kind and caring, and they feel the love, for sure. Brianna brings a fresh perspective to the first grade team and is always ready to share the latest tech tips and tricks. She is creative and maintains a positive and upbeat learning space for her students. Brianna is very soft-spoken and calm, but don't let that fool you. She is incredibly dedicated to her class, and you can tell that she loves what she does. Brianna continues to be a learner and this is me now. Brianna continues to be a learner and continues to ask me ways that she can improve her craft. She does lunch duty, served on the strategic planning committee. She does math puzzlers and was part of the Snowy committee my first year, and currently is asking to be more involved in our school community. It gives me great pleasure to recommend Miss Brianna Infante for tenure tonight. I'm truly proud of her growth and excited to see her continue to blossom.
Okay, congratulations. And we have one more Siwanoy tenure awardee tonight. So please join me. And I have to tell a story on this one. I was a principal at Lakeland High School, gosh, a long time ago. And a trusted colleague from those days called me one day and said, "You got to meet this girl. You got to meet her." And here we are 4 years later, and I'm granting her tenure. So Stu Hansen, thank you for the recommendation. And Stu is with us tonight. It's great to have trusted friends to point out those special gems in our profession. So please join me in congratulating and honoring Amanda Sozio tonight.
And before I talk about the last candidate, I just want to say thank you to Siwanoy family for showing up. We got a lot of people here, and that really goes to show the culture that we're building at Siwanoy, and it's a beautiful thing because it's really amazing to see all of you out here tonight. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming tonight. And I know I won't get a chance to say it later, but thank you to my family for coming as well. Amanda Sozio. When Amanda was hired, she was actually hired as a leave replacement. At the time, I deemed myself lucky to have found a leave replacement of her caliber. Throughout the year when I didn't know if there would be an opening for her the following year, I would always talk to my colleagues about her because I knew I had to find a way to keep her at least in Pelham. For a new teacher, she was also poised, very organized, and took the job very seriously. Later, I found out that she was pretty OCD about a lot of things, but it has become one of her endearing character traits. In fact, our custodian, Mr. Warren, sometimes purposely moves things around in her classrooms just to see if she notices. And she always notices. Through it all, Amanda has been a good sport. When Ms. Sozio does not know something or feels she is weaker in a subject area, she seeks out assistance in professional development until she becomes almost an expert. One fond memory I have about this is when we were talking about guided reading and small group instruction. I love talking about instruction. She didn't ask me to ask if she could watch some of her colleagues so she can learn from them. After that, she asked, to my surprise, if I could do her announced observation on that exact subject matter, just to see if she really understood the concepts and to make sure it was what I was looking for. I admire her desire to be the very best version of herself. At Siwanoy, we believe in the phrase, "every day a better you." That has been copyrighted, so don't try to steal it. And she embodies this concept through and through. She is always willing to help. Being a newer teacher, one can feel intimidated at times. She did not let that get in the way of presenting an innovative way to keep track of win time for our entire staff. Just listen to what her colleagues have to say about her. Amanda is such a bright light at Siwanoy. She is also full of kindness. I am impressed with her strong work ethic. She has stepped up to run Spelling Bee, Coding Club, and become a webmaster too. Her creativity in lessons is awesome. I especially appreciate that Amanda seeks out advice from others to improve her craft. She is extremely respectful and generous. Amanda is an extremely hard worker and incredibly focused. You can always find her working on some new project or starting a new early morning children's group. It's true. The day before she got married, her entire class came dressed up in team bride sashes. We even had a few of her current as well as past students come dressed as her on Dress as Your Favorite Person Day. Her students, this is me again, her students thrive in her classroom, not just in what we can see through academic data, but they learn to be better school citizens and to appreciate the community around them. Her students look up to her, and she continues to find new and interesting ways to meet their needs. Let's hear what her students have to say about her. She was so nice to us and helped us become who we are today. She is really comforting and nice and always is there to help us achieve our goals. Ms. Sozio taught us a lot of stuff that we still use today, like multiplication, times table songs. My $1 million memory would be that the first day of school when I met her. The last day of school when I was reflecting and felt really happy that she was my teacher for the year. That was my $1 million moment. On the first day of school, she set up our desk and gave us a number to find our desk. That was my favorite activity. She was just really great and fun teacher to be around. Third grade was my favorite year because she was my teacher. Ms. Sozio has served as Coding Club guru, Spelling Bee chair. She works lunch duty. She's a Siwanoy communications officiant and will literally do anything that is needed of her. She has been extremely patient through all of her nervousness of being a leave replacement. She has truly earned everything that is about to come her way. I'm honored to recommend Ms. Sozio for tenure tonight. Congratulations.
I should note, Amanda was also with us until 2:30 in the morning last night, doing the budget vote tally, so, and she was back in the classroom this morning. So next, to continue the honors, I'd like to invite our Director of School Counseling, Mr. Gene Farrell, to honor our next two candidates for tenure. And first up, we will go in alphabetical order. Miss Margaret Ellis.
So I lost the jacket, now the AC's on, so it's getting a little better here as we go. So Ms. Ellis is a Temple owl. She's a graduate from Temple University with her bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's in school counseling from Manhattan College. Before coming to Pelham, she had served as a high school counselor in Peekskill High School, Cardinal Spellman High School, and in addition, she worked as a counselor at Fordham University. Margaret has developed a solid reputation as a high school counselor who works well with all types of students, whether they're looking for insight into the college admissions process or struggling through a difficult period in their life. Margaret always managed to develop a trusting rapport with their students and keeps a positive professional outlook no matter how busy she is. On a daily basis, there's always a steady stream of students coming in and out of her office. While having already come to Pelham with a deep knowledge of college and universities, she was no wallflower when it comes to growth and learning. Over the past 3 years, Margaret has seized the opportunity to deepen her knowledge through college visits and conferences and counselor fly-ins. These are the free ones, Dr. Jam. Margaret made visits to Quinnipiac, Elon College, Boston College, Northeastern, NACAC, the National Association of College Admission Counselors in Houston, and where she visited Rice University as well, too. College and universities are not the only focus for Ms. Ellis. As a counselor, she's been a contributor to the Wellness Committee, taking time to visit the BOCES Center in Valhalla, and growing to understand the many resources available in our community, and also the SPOA training, which is the county resources training. Unbeknownst to me, when she started here with us 3 years ago, Margaret has a keen interest in all things related to athletics, whether it be a deep knowledge of the NCAA recruiting process regulations, going back to her days at Fordham. Her background as a former college athlete volleyball player, following her son's progress in basketball, or chipping in at the many Pelham athletic events that she attends as well, too. In the past 3 years, Margaret has entrenched herself as a true advocate for her students and well-being. With a constant smile and a great attention to detail, Ms. Ellis has a wonderful addition to the counseling team. When asked for feedback from one of her students, the comment was, "I was in Mrs. Ellis's office literally once a week to talk about colleges. You can talk to her about anything, and she's so supportive. With her help, I got a full scholarship to the university." Congratulations. Ms. Ellis is commended for her organization and knowledge of technology. She's a whiz with Infinite Campus and taught me a thing or two about the efficient ways to document student data in the management system, keep case notes, or enlighten us of the many other functions. Margaret's work ethic is tireless. She comes early, stays late, especially during AP exams, which we're happy to say it finished, and is always looking forward to bring something new to the department. This year, she was a key contributor in development of the grade 11 college planning seminars. Ms. Ellis has endeared herself as a counselor, colleague, and professional. Margaret is tireless in her encouragement to students on taking active roles in their own development, and her caring, gentle nature has been a terrific addition to the school district, our school, high school, the counseling team. Congratulations, Margaret.
Okay. And next, Mr. Farrell is going to now help us recognize Ms. Andrea Pelham.
So Andrea was actually not a COVID hire because she started with us before COVID, right?
Yes.
So it was a different type of thing. So it seems like so long ago when I met Ms. Pelham for the first time during a screening for a counseling lead position. As I recall, the pickings were slim. Our former principal, Ms. Clark, and I had just finished interviewing 3 candidates who had just finished graduate school, and we were worried that we would not have a viable replacement. Ms. Pelham changed all that. As a former director of counseling for Long Island Lutheran High School, she was very impressive. She had a superior grasp of student-centered needs, special populations, academic planning, in addition to being well-versed in the college application process. After we completed the interview, it was an easy decision. Soon after she completed her lead position, she left to take a counseling position in Bronxville. And the following fall, serendipitously, we had a probation position open in the high school, and we were able to persuade her to come back. Since that time, Ms. Pelham has never failed to disappoint on a daily basis. She draws from her vast experiences, having served as a counselor for not only Long Island Lutheran High School, but Bronxville, but also Oyster Bay High School in Long Island, and Palos Verdes, did I say that right? High School in California. Andrea has made significant contributions to the school community, to include being a member of the school district wellness committee, a member of the faculty council representative, the PMHA service learning coordinator, a member of the cultural competence committee, and a volunteer reader for the National Honor Society. For those unaware, Andrea comes from a family in which all things are basketball. As a former collegiate player herself, she shares the passion with her sister, who was also a collegiate player, and her father, who was a long-standing basketball coach at the college level. Basketball is not the only commonality they share. All 3 of them are high school counselors, and Dad's here today, and I believe he's retired now. So there it is. Ms. Pelham is very organized in her presentations. During classroom visits, she takes time to explain topics and cite examples for the students. As a former mathematics instructor, she has a solid grasp of classroom management as well. During counseling sessions, Ms. Pelham takes a great care to be attentive with the students, actively listen, and present positive verbal and nonverbal communication. Her attitude seems to draw students out into conversation easily. One student on our caseload noted, Ms. Pelham is sweet and friendly. She motivates me and keeps me organized with my work. When I had a serious medical issue earlier this year, she helped me make a schedule flexible and work with my teachers to allow me to pass all my classes and not lose credits during this difficult time. I don't know what I've done without her support. Another student noted, Ms. Pelham has been tremendously supportive to me when I had a very hard decision to make about my math class and not taking honors. She made me feel better about making the choice. Since then, I've been really happy. In addition, I'd like to point out that it's not been easy for me not to mention the connection between Andrea's last name and our high school mascot. So those who might know, I'll leave it alone. As I look back, I realize that this was a sign that she's the right fit for our community. Congratulations.
Thank you. So our next honoree is going to be recognized by Mr. Sean Llewellyn, our middle school acting principal right now, and he has known our candidate for several years at the middle school. We're very pleased to honor and invite up Mr. Aaron Weisner.
So I hope that Aaron wasn't nervous hearing Dr. Callahan do all of those introductions and wondering if he had made a mistake or had been left off a list somewhere. So he's stuck with me. I'm not as good at the introductions as Dr. Callahan, but the evening's getting later, so you'll appreciate my being shorter and sweeter. So good evening, everyone. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce tenure recipient and science teacher extraordinaire Aaron Weisner. The extraordinaire is in honor of Ms. Sabia, who couldn't be here tonight, who loves to call everybody extraordinaire. As previous speakers have mentioned, Aaron was hired in the summer of 2020, a very difficult year in education, needless to say, and I commend him for entering the fray and excelling in spite of all of the challenges and having to interview and demo and then teach virtually. In addition to being an outstanding earth science teacher, an excellent colleague to his partners in the department, and I will say that the earth science department, not that I don't love all of the teachers in the school, but is a wonderful department in that they are very low drama, they get along very well, they put their heads down, they get the work done, which is something that we really appreciate in an area in which every single one of our students has to pass a Regents exam. And it also is, I think, worth mentioning that, that department had experienced a difficult loss of a colleague, and it's a tough position to walk into as a new person, and from the get-go, Aaron integrated so well with his colleagues, and he's really to be commended for that. In addition to all of his outstanding work in the classroom, where he has been an inspiration to his 8th grade students, Aaron has entered the high-stakes world of high school athletics, assisting the varsity and JV volleyball and basketball teams as scorer and clock operator, respectively, very important roles, and teaching in our extended academy period, which is another great way to get to know and to help the kids. This year, Aaron has embarked upon a new challenge, teaching a dual enrollment astronomy course, I think with Iona, correct? With Iona, at the high school, for which I've been told he had to develop the entire curriculum practically from scratch, and has done admirably in that area as well. In March, I really got a kick out of this as part of our Pelham Chases Space initiative. Aaron was out on Ingalls Field with his telescopes, hosting an evening of stargazing for the community, and I don't think I've ever seen him that excited. He was like a little kid who just got a telescope for Christmas. It was so cool, and a sign of, I think, what we can expect in the future from him. Aaron, I congratulate you on receiving tenure. We look forward to experiencing your talents and dedication for many years.
So next, I'm happy to invite Ms. Janine Carr, principal of Prospect Hill Elementary School, and she will be honoring Ashley Murphy.
Yes, so I would love to invite Ashley up, but she's home on bed rest, awaiting her first child. We're going to invite her dad up to get that on her behalf, but he's the real reason she's getting tenure, but I'll get to that story in a minute. So we're going to recognize Ashley tonight for her dedication, her passion, and her unwavering commitment to Prospect Hill. So now some of you may be wondering, who is Mrs. Murphy? She started with us as Miss Miranda. She got married she started with us 4 years ago, got married a little less than a year ago, and she married fireman Michael Murphy, love of her life, and they are home waiting for their first child to come. So Ashley, like everyone said, was hired during COVID, and she wowed us with a virtual lesson to 3rd grade writers. They weren't really there, but she gave the lesson as if they were. And the funny thing was, she was teaching the writers to write about a special moment about themselves. And she modeled it by sharing a story. Her most special moment that she could think of was when she went to the hospital to meet her baby sister, Casey, for the first time. So it's sort of full circle for her, because now she's going to be in the hospital awaiting her own child. So that was her special moment. And we all sat there thinking, Freed was with me, we sat there thinking, if she can wow a bunch of writers that really aren't even here, imagine when the kids get in front of her, what she's going to be able to do. And she has not disappointed us. So since joining our school committee, Ashley has exemplified the qualities of an outstanding educator. Her classroom is not just a place of learning, but a place where curiosity, creativity, and exploration is celebrated. With a heart as big as her passion for teaching, she has touched the lives of students in ways that extend beyond the walls of her classroom. And we certainly saw that last year during her wedding, when the pews in the church were filled with her entire class, just waiting for her to walk down the aisle. Some of the quotes that the kids said about her, they said she gives us chances to be independent, and we always do really fun science experiments. She said, one student said, one thing I like about Mrs. Murphy is how she taught ELA. She made a big impact on me and helped me improve my spelling. When you get that from a child, you know they're feeling it. She said, we always have so much fun in the classroom, and in the beginning of the year, I wasn't very strong in math, but now I am. And then one of our little guys, I think they've been messing with her whole pregnancy. They said Mrs. Murphy was really good at keeping the secret that she's actually having twins. Now, she's not having twins, but they just thought she was getting so big, they thought she was keeping this big secret, and they really think twins are coming, so they're going to be a little disappointed. I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the power of Ashley's teaching, whether it's sparking a love for reading, instilling a sense of curiosity about the world, or simply being a trusted confidant and a mentor. She consistently goes above and beyond to ensure that every student feels seen, heard, and valued. This doesn't just happen in the classroom. She's the facilitator of many of our clubs. She does the Spelling Bee Club, the 24 Club, the Newspaper Club. She's also been a member of our site-based committee for the past 2 years. And if that isn't enough, she does recess every single day outside with the 5th graders. Now, funny story, she's been doing lunch duty since she's been the start of her pregnancy, so she's doing lunch duty from September to last Friday. We send her home to rest to go on maternity leave, and she decides to walk out the baby. So she tried to walk out the baby. She now is home with a broken foot. So she probably should have just stayed in school and she would have been fine. But we sent her home and that's what happens. And now she's going to welcome her first child in the world with a broken foot. But that's Ashley. She'll take it all in stride. What truly sets Ashley apart is her unwavering commitment to continuous improvement. As educators, we know that our journey of learning never truly ends, and Ashley embodies this wholeheartedly. Whether it's attending professional development workshops, collaborating with colleagues, she's always striving to be the best possible educator for her students. Her colleagues said, Ashley's like our little sister. From the first day we met her, we just clicked. We were laughing on the first day, and we laughed hysterically as we walked her to her car on the last day before her maternity leave started. They describe her as kind and caring, always remaining calm no matter what the situation. She's always smiling, and her smiling is contagious to adults as well as to all the children. Now, outside of school, Ashley can be found doing trust falls. We'll let her explain that. Eating at Midland Pizzeria on Thursdays with her family, and she will probably be spending a lot of free time learning to golf. She swears she's going to beat her husband Mike at his own game, and knowing Ashley, Mike better watch out because she probably will take him down. It is a privilege to work alongside such a dedicated, passionate educator. I have no doubt that she will continue to inspire, empower, and uplift generations for students for years to come. In closing, I want to acknowledge how wonderful it is to see Ashley's parents here tonight. So now I have to let you in on a little secret. The reason why Ashley's really getting tenure. So during COVID, when Ashley was hired, my mom drove through my house. You may have heard about this. Couldn't find a contractor during COVID. So Ashley sent me a text message her first year and said, I heard you need help. My dad's a contractor. So I jokingly tell her her dad's the real reason she's getting tenure, because that man worked miracles and fixed my house. So to celebrate Ashley, I'm going to invite her dad up tonight. I see him back there. Did he go run to be with Ashley?
He's actually at Ashley's house.
Oh, goodness. But take this on her behalf. Tell her we miss her so much. And we look forward to watching her grow as an educator and a mom. So congratulations for giving us that.
So thank you so much for that, Ms. Carr. We're going to ask Ms. Carr to stay and to have Ms. Garcia join her. A twofer as we honor one of our traveling teachers who's been, I think, in all districts, I think just about in every building in the district, and that is Mary Preston.
Today we celebrate a truly remarkable educator, Mary Preston. Since joining our district, Mary has transformed the art room into a vibrant hub of creativity and cultural exploration. Her lessons aren't just about mastering techniques. They're about fostering a love for art that reflects the rich tapestry of our world. Some of her colleagues have shared that whenever art is on the schedule, the kids cheer and say that it's their favorite subject. The kids absolutely love Mary and her class. Mary is an amazing colleague. Her ability to differentiate every art project for students with significant needs is commendable. She is able to integrate the art curriculum so that every child has success. When not gardening on the weekends, she is collaborating with colleagues on ways to support all of her students. Mary's always so even-tempered and happy. She creates beautiful work with her students that they are truly proud of.
Mary, you're about to regret everything you've ever told me about yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Whether it's exploring traditional patterns from different cultures or using different materials to create modern masterpieces, Mary ensures every student sees themselves represented in the art world. Speaking of representing, you have to see her dedication. Sometimes she is so busy running between the buildings and trying to get ready for her classes that she actually told me that she just has time to eat a scooter pie for lunch. Now, I said to Mary, I just pictured you being a little more healthy. And she was like, well, that's because I lose my bananas. So Mary, we're gonna make sure you eat healthy. We're gonna give you some bananas with your name on them. So eat the scooter pies to celebrate, but that's it. We don't want you eating too many scooter pies. So here's one other thing, folks. We can't all be superheroes like Mary. So speaking of things that could be disappearing, have you heard her impassioned pleas about brie cheese? Apparently, global warming is making it a delicacy. Look, they don't know, Mary. We're educating right now. They don't know. So global warming is making brie cheese a delicacy. So next time you're at the store, grab some brie cheese for Mary's sake and maybe for the sake of the planet. Now, all this creativity doesn't just happen in a vacuum. What you might not know about Mary is she's a real dancer. So I found this out during COVID. So after COVID, when we were in person, we were doing our cohorts. On a Friday, a few of us would get into one of our larger classrooms. We were 6 feet, but we'd pump some music up, and we'd have a little dance party to just let loose and sort of celebrate the fact that we made it through the week. And I happened to be facing the door one day, and all of a sudden, Mary was just getting down. Like literally, her hair was down to here. She took it out. She was going in the hallway dancing by herself. And I was like, you go, Mary. And I always wondered why she didn't ask me to change the art room, because her room is in the basement, but it's next to the gym. And she told me Mr. D plays really good music, and she's actually her own hype person. So I said, what does that mean? She said, well, you know, while I'm getting ready, I'm like, go Mary, go Mary, go Mary. So she hypes herself up before the lesson. In her words, any song Pharrell sings, she's into it. She's doing it. And this enthusiasm translates directly into the classroom, where she fosters a space of exploration, expression, and of course, a little bit of fun in Mary's way.
A brilliant art teacher once said, if the classroom is seen as a collaborator or mentorship between students and teacher, then both the students and the teacher can learn through the triumphs and mistakes of the group. I like to present myself as a student of learning and an artistic in residence, so that I can lead by example and create a nurturing atmosphere and safe environment where students feel positive reinforcement, consistency, and gentle, constructive criticism that keeps their developing egos protected and supported. The brilliant art teacher is you. You wrote this in your teaching philosophy some years ago, and you certainly have stayed true to your word.
Earning tenure is a testament to Mary's dedication and passion. Congratulations, Mary, and we are lucky to have you as part of the Colonial and Prospect Hill family. Congratulations.
So next, to help me celebrate one of our support staff, the key staff that we, in so many ways, could not do what we do without, one of our teaching assistants. I've invited Dr. Tricia Fitzgerald, who will introduce us to and help to honor Miss Margaret Ann Spagnolo.
So it's a privilege to be here tonight to honor and celebrate Margaret Ann Spagnolo. Margaret Ann is one of those rare gems that walks into your life and you instantly know that you're a better person because of her. If we were to create a word splash of all the adjectives describing Margaret Ann, it would include honest, humble, authentic, empathetic, selfless, kind, responsible, hardworking, gracious, generous, flexible, patient, supportive, genuine, thoughtful, and the list goes on. Yet those words not only describe the individual, but the professional. Margaret Ann arrives to work every day with a smile and a hearty good morning, and that positivity continues with her all day long. Her energy is contagious, and the Hutchinson School staff and children adore her. Her colleagues had this to say about her. Margaret Ann, or Miss Spagnolo, as she is most notably called by her groups of students, has been a remarkable addition to our K-1-2 classroom. Miss Spagnolo was kind, compassionate, hardworking, and above all, patient. She is always there to lend a helping hand and make a connection with each student. Miss Spagnolo has become familiar with the curriculum in the classroom and is aware of what each child needs to better support their learning. She is a dedicated teaching assistant who knows exactly what the teacher needs, yes, including coffee. Her exuberant, easygoing, and fun personality make Margaret Ann an absolute pleasure to work with. I am truly lucky to have her part of my team. Dr. Ribeiro had this to say: if you are lucky enough to be in the same room with Margaret Ann, I guarantee you are smiling. She simply exudes positive energy and sees the good in every situation. Margaret Ann is kind-hearted to her core and has an excellent work ethic. She takes a strong interest in learning each grade level curriculum and knows how to best support each individual learner. Margaret Ann has been successful in every classroom she has worked in, from kindergarten through high school. We are so fortunate to have her as a cherished colleague and a friend. Therefore, I am extremely honored to recommend Margaret Ann Spagnolo for tenure in the Pelham Public Schools. Congratulations.
Okay, so we are in the home stretch. All right, and for these last two honorees, I have the privilege of doing these introductions, and I will admit I am more of the Mr. Llewellyn approach to our comments this evening, and again, being this time of the evening, hope you will appreciate that. First, we'll go in alphabetical order. I am thrilled to recommend to the Board of Education tenure for Ms. Rachel Garcia, principal of Colonial Elementary School. And I think you can see from all of our entire administrative team who's been here tonight. Oh, we've got a big fan club back there. The level of depth at which they do their work and the attention to detail and the thoughtfulness is just incredible. And you've seen that from every one of our educational leaders tonight. So thank you to all of them for the work that you do to lead your schools each and every day. Specific to Rachel, who joined us shortly after the pandemic. Rachel came to us before coming to Colonial Elementary School. She was principal of PS 173 in the New York City DOE from July of 2015 until she came to join us. Prior to that, she was assistant principal, literacy coach, and a kindergarten teacher at PS 55 going back to 2012. So being at that school from 2012, she rose up through the ranks over those next several years, which prepared her incredibly for her step to principal and then her step here to Colonial Elementary School. Very different setting, and Rachel has done a tremendous job of learning the culture of Pelham, loving the culture of Pelham, and becoming part of the culture of Pelham. Rachel, her educational path, she got her bachelor's from Iona, her master's from Mercy, another master's from Bank Street, and now she is embarking on the next phase at St. John's Fisher doctoral program. So in a couple of years, we'll probably be back here celebrating a doctorate and her continued lifelong growth. Rachel's accomplishments while she's been here at Pelham in her short time, she was a critical part of this past year in particular of our climate survey committee member to craft a very thoughtful district-wide survey to assess the belongingness and the job satisfaction of our staff. She has been her professional association's representative this year to the Pelham Education Foundation, which we all know is an incredibly important partnership to bring innovation and resources to our schools. She has, her school has provided resources, her PTA in partnership with her PTA to assist not just her school but the district with celebration of district-wide holidays and recognitions. She at her school has worked to implement a more focused approach to PLCs over the last several years as we've really invested time in those early release days for our teachers to really grow and do action research around how to improve student achievement and outcomes. Coming out of the pandemic, she worked to resurrect the Colonial Times newspaper, which was really an important part of the school culture. In partnership with her PTA, she's implemented the Fall Festival, Passport Night, which was one of the events to each one of our schools has expanded through our cultural competence efforts, ways to celebrate the cultures of the schools and our community and the families within the schools, but with their own unique twist. So really excited to have brought Passport Night. Additionally, she's coordinated with her PTAs to set up a huge series of parent-led cultural workshops and really continue to celebrate and enrich the cultural experiences of all of our students. She's worked with her site-based team to host an executive functioning workshop for parents as well as students and develop grants through the PEF for a sensory playground. And additionally, she worked with parents not only to establish an outdoor classroom in the backyard behind the 314 Pelhamdale House. She's also then collaborated with Greenberg Nature Center to bring enrichment activities to students to enhance the use of that outdoor classroom space. I think what all of us recognize this year has been a big, kind of a big achievement year. The first achievement for our district in that Colonial Elementary School was selected by the U.S. Department of Education under her leadership to be a blue ribbon school, one of the top 350 in the country. And I know Dr. Bowman and I had the wonderful opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. with Rachel and to just enjoy the celebration, get to know one another, and really just to get excited to be part of that really high caliber of educators that are really pushing forward for all of our students. When you ask her colleagues, her administrative colleagues, what they say of Rachel is she has a solid understanding of core instructional practices. She runs a very organized building, and when you walk into Colonial, students are engaged, they know what they need to do, and they're smiling. Rachel's involved. She's a very hands-on principal. She's part of the day-to-day management of individual student needs. She works closely with the school psychologists, behaviorists, and parents as well. I can't tell you how many times I go to the office and someone's having a cool-down moment in her office, and that's exactly what it is. And there's just a warmth, a care, and a relaxation that can't be beat. Most often it's a student, sometimes it's an adult. She's detailed, steadfast, and cares deeply about her personal performance and her personal growth. Her instructional staff, her faculty, say that Rachel has been a wonderful addition to our Colonial community. She's worked diligently to foster positive relationships with both parents and staff alike. She is warm and inviting and collaborative. She's organized and thorough, which is essential to having our school run smoothly and seamlessly. Rachel is incredibly supportive and appreciative of teachers and their hard work. It has been a true pleasure to work under her leadership. And comments from parents. Many comments came to us. I picked just a select few that I thought were really described what I see in Rachel's well-rounded approach to her work. So from one parent, through my involvement in Colonial's PTA, I've gotten to know Rachel quite well, both professionally and personally. Of all of the impressive faculty and administrators I've encountered in our 7 years in the Pelham schools, Rachel truly stands out. She approaches conversations with parents and teachers with openness and empathy and makes herself readily available for matters big and small. Rachel leads with compassionate authority and great integrity and is a collaborative partner to all Colonial stakeholders, from teachers and parents to the PTA to her students. When issues of conflict arise, Rachel is focused on finding a solution. She does not shy away from difficult conversations. When new ideas are presented, she's inquisitive, open-minded, and open to change. When there's an opportunity to make things better, she's the first to roll up her sleeves and make it happen. Colonial has truly flourished under Rachel's leadership, and I hope she remains a valued part of our community and district for years to come. Another says, I've been incredibly impressed by Rachel's leadership. She is much loved by the students and respected by the parents. She has an incredible commitment to our kids' well-being, success, and happiness at Colonial. She is supportive of innovation and change, doesn't back down from challenging conversations or situations, and is committed to creating a culture of inclusion for all. In summary, I have to offer to this, Rachel has been just a true joy to work with and has been a wonderful addition to our administrative team. She's professional, trustworthy, competent, diligent, conscientious, and committed to the success of all of her students, her school, and our district as a whole. She is the embodiment of our district mission, inspiring a standard of excellence for all students, and I am very proud to recommend her for tenure tonight. And finally, and I know he will say I saved the best for last, but his colleagues are here to keep him humble. I'd love to invite up for our last candidate tonight, Mr. Fareed Johnson. And I can't remember which of the administrators recommended the other for the job. There's a lot of closely connected dots here amongst our elementary team. It was me. He's the finder of everybody. But I'm very pleased tonight to be recommending tenure for Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, principal of Siwano Elementary School, was, as with the theme tonight, one of the many people that interviewed on screen during the pandemic, and was hired during the height of the pandemic to come and take over after longstanding principal, Mrs. Gilbert, who retired. Mr. Johnson was hired, and then Mrs. Gilbert came back to serve another year at Colonial. So to come into a school with a beloved longstanding principal who you thought retired, who is now 2 blocks away at another school, presents unique challenges, but was really met with collaboration and a wonderful opportunity to continue to bring the students through what was such a challenge, and the staff through what was a challenging year. So Mr. Johnson has been now principal of Siwano since 2020. Prior to coming to Pelham, he was the principal of Stony Point Elementary School from 2017 until the time that he came to Pelham. Prior to that, he was assistant principal at Hillside Elementary in Hastings. And then before that, assistant principal at PS 55. We've heard that before tonight. In the Bronx. And then prior to that, a teacher in the PS 196 in the New York City DOE in the Bronx. His educational path began with a bachelor's in finance and a master's in childhood and special education, a unique combination there, from Manhattanville College, where I got my doctorate as well, so great institution there. After his bachelor's, he went on to continue work at Bank Street College, and now, as well, is launching on his doctoral work at St. John Fisher's College. So again, we'll be celebrating him in a few years, achieving that doctorate. Mr. Johnson has a huge list of accomplishments and the ways that he's added his fingerprint to the culture and student life that is Siwanoy. Just a few to name. He's worked to establish buddy classes, older students and younger students, to make sure that there's connections, belongingness, and integration. He created the Upstander Gallery Walk, which I think has grown into one of the most exciting events of the school, one of the most well attended. He also has established the MLK speech reading series as we go through February. His twist on our Cultural Confidence School event to celebrate and share the cultures of the unique contributions of the folks at his school is Culture Fest. Great food, great music, a great time, and he was really excited to design that with his PTA and to bring that to his students. One of the initiatives that was really close to my heart, because it was a great partnership on something that we had started at the district level with partnering with our senior citizens, he and his site-based team launched the Siwanoy Serves Initiative, believing the value of service for our students from the youngest ages up to define a service experience that become a tradition at each school. So every student comes through those elementary years learning the value of service, contributing, and that becomes a way of life for them. He also has worked in close partnership with his PTA on various sustainability issues and initiatives. Most recently, we had the opportunity to go over and help plant some stormwater drainage plants on one side of the property, and they've got a series of other events certainly to make better use of the outdoor classroom as well, to bring sustainability to students in ways that are relevant, real-time, and authentic, and to bring that homeschool connection. And this year, one of the exciting events that folks at other schools have even tapped into is Siwanoy University. Again, partnering with his parents to bring in different parent workshops and initiatives that help the school staff come in, partner with them, and be able to train parents in really relevant, important ways to help them be strong partners as they raise their children along with the school. When we look at awards and accomplishments, this has been another big year for another principal. This year, Mr. Johnson first received the PTA Heroes of Education Award, nominated by his PTA. And then, to top it off, he received the Elementary Principal of the Year for 2023-24 school year from his professional organization, SANY, School Administrators Association of New York State. Congratulations. When asking his colleagues about Fareed, they had a lot to say, but I will share just a few. We've edited those. Fareed cares deeply about the culture of his building and student belonging. He strives to make Siwanoy a better place for students, staff, and families. His implementation of Siwanoy U engaged parents in learning more about the pertinent topics such as executive functioning skills. Culture Fest celebrates all of the students and their diverse backgrounds and is a great way to highlight what makes them unique, but yet also serves to connect them. He cares deeply about students, helping them feel connected and honoring their uniqueness. He takes pride in his building and brings that sense of connection and pride to the students and families of Siwanoy. I think he's good at building the Siwanoy team. From his instructional faculty, Fareed respects that we are highly qualified, motivated teachers and supports our personal styles and expertise in the classroom. He's willing to jump in and help whenever necessary, whether it be moving furniture, cleaning lunch tables, or covering classes. Fareed has worked hard to bring some fun into our building and always has an open door for teachers and staff. Fareed sets high expectations for both the staff, the students, and himself. His personal motto, "Every day a better you," has become a motto for the entire school community. When I asked his parents, they shared that Siwanoy is lucky to have Fareed leading and cultivating a positive, fun, kind learning environment. He leads by example, making Siwanoy a place kids love and feel happy and safe. I'm impressed by his calming and upbeat leadership style. He makes the parents feel connected and informed, and the kids feel enthusiastic about learning. I especially appreciate his open, honest, direct, and kind communication. In the times that I have raised a question or concern, he's always made the time to truly listen and get involved as needed to address my question or solve the issues at hand. So in summary, it's clear to me, and I've said this many times, Mr. Johnson leads from the heart. His values are interwoven into all that he does. He works tirelessly to create a learning community that is centered around fun, joy, connection, service, belonging, and creates a place where every child is valued and has a chance to find their place in the world, their seat at the table. He inspires them to dream big and to act small, but in important ways that truly make a difference in their classroom, their school, their community, and someday their world. He lives and breathes his personal motto, every day a better you. Knowing that, I am confident as he achieves this milestone in his career tonight that the best is yet to come. Congratulations, Mr. Bennett. Thank you.
Come on, man. Take it in.
So don't go yet. It's not official yet. So I think we got to move up 6.1.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll move up item 6.1, and I'll accept a motion to approve the tenure recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. It's official. Congratulations. Thank you so much. This time, we're going to take a 5-minute break and just invite all the tenure recipients tonight. If you wouldn't mind, come forward for a group photo. We would love to take a quick photo before you, and families are welcome to come do photos as well.
What's that?
Oh, we
Yeah, I know.
continuously.
We just started.
Moving on is Mr. Tree. What? Mr. Tree.
What?
You're the only one that's looking sane right now.
Looking insane.
Yeah, we're all like.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're all kind of face down and you're.
I'm like, are my eyes open?
No, I felt myself kind of like Okay. So we can move on to item 2.3, Board of Education Committee reports. Do we have any?
Did we have our
Updates.
advocacy report since last time, or was that
No,
prior?
we had it already, so we haven't met after that. We did have a great, yeah, of course. We had a great BOE coffee, so that's what we had. And it
That's
was-
right.
Yeah, it was very engaging. We discussed some of the topics that are still in the community, cell phone, calendar, and a couple of other things came up, budget. It was very engaging. I think our last one is coming up in June, and it will be the last one for the year.
It was a nice new venue, too.
Yes, we did try to incorporate a new Shea Cafe, and it was really nice.
Okay, I think that is it for committee. Given the late hour of last night and tonight, I'm going to offer, once again, if the board is okay with it, that we maybe just see if there's questions on the reports from the cabinet, and otherwise bypass those. Questions? Okay. I know that we've been meeting a lot lately, so thank you for that. And when we get to the financial or the personnel, if there's any specific items, we'll highlight those of relevance. Okay.
Opportunity for public comment? No. All right. I think we could just do a consent agenda then. 4.1 through 4.5.
Yes.
Anybody make a motion to approve 4.1 through 4.5?
So moved.
Second.
Any particular comments or questions?
I just want to take the opportunity to thank Ms. Miller, Valerie Miller, first budget successfully accomplished, which is a lot, and I just appreciate the diligent work that she did leading up to that. And we had an incredible team of folks there last night who really took their job seriously. They put in a lot of long hours, really with the whole goal of doing the right thing by the district and by the democratic process. So while it was late and long, I think it was really just an incredible thing to watch as folks took that responsibility so seriously. So thank you, Valerie. Thanks for the work you did leading up from managing that night. I know Gloria Benkwith, our chief inspector, was here earlier this evening, and I thank her as well. She's been doing this for many years for the Pelham schools, and she is second to none in her knowledge and her unwavering commitment to integrity in the process. So we have a lot to be really proud of in that sense. So thank you all, and congratulations on a well-run election, Val. And I will say, too, thanks to the business office for preparing an outstanding budget. And we look forward now to moving forward with implementation, and to the board for your guidance for the finance committee, great conversations that helped us to really hone something that we were proud to bring forward to the community.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? No. Motion carries. All right. And then policy monitoring and governance.
Yes, so we're on our third reading of these, a couple of them health-related, and then one having to do with timeout and physical restraint. So no edits have been made since last time. We didn't receive any feedback or suggestions. They're being presented to you the same as they were in prior readings. So one for opioid overdose prevention, just to establish a freestanding policy related to that, so that we can be an option one district, or since we've been declared an option one district, we have all of the policy requirements in place. And thanks to Tracy and the nursing staff for their work around that, to make sure that we're in good shape and that we're able to train and expand the number of staff who are suitably trained there. Additionally, the timeout and physical restraint policy is a required one from New York State. We do not use timeout rooms, to be clear, but we're required to have a policy on one anyways. And this gave us a great opportunity to update our policy according to the new guidelines and to remind us of our practices and around training identifying those staff members who may at times use physical restraint in very limited circumstances to make sure they're clear on that and that they're trained appropriately. So we've added that to our list of policies for training for the beginning of the school year as we compile those. And then finally, updates on the wellness policy. Again, something we're required to review every 3 years. So the Wellness Committee, and thanks again to Tracy, working with that committee to update that, made several recommendations to bring it in line with current regulations, practice, curriculum items, and just the values of, and things that are important to Pelham specifically in that policy. So happy to take any questions. Okay.
All right, so I would suggest that we just approve 5.1 through 5.3 as a consent agenda.
Yeah.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so those are approved. All right, and we already approved 6.1.
Yes.
So I would suggest that we do 6.2 through 6.5 as a consent agenda. Do you have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
Yes. So I will jump in on this one. Normally, Dr. Garcia does. But very bittersweet recognition tonight. Dr. Garcia has accepted a position in the Hendrick Hudson School District. And he has originated this role here of Executive Director of
HR and leadership, it's okay.
I'm so sorry, I'm so tired.
That's all right.
Yeah, HR and leadership. And now has the opportunity, I believe, to initiate the role in
Yep.
another district.
Exactly.
So they saw quality, and they're stealing it away from us. But Dr. Garcia, I know, I can't imagine what was running through your mind tonight, but
Yeah.
to have been part of not just this cohort of 10-year candidates, but 11 years
Yeah.
of hiring the faculty. I think you had told us recently, what percent of this?
About 35% of the faculty here.
35% of the faculty in our district, Dr. Garcia has had a direct hand in decision-making and hiring, which is a huge accomplishment. One of the 3 most important things you can do in a school district is hiring. So the folks that we have here today, I attribute a lot of that to him, to the administrators, and to the fine work that they've done to hire and then support, train, and really bring them to this point. So Steve, very much are going to miss your work in the district, everything you brought. I think there's a strong legacy that you're leaving behind. And thank you for originating this new role as well. And I certainly wish you all the best in your new endeavors. You will be very much missed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It wasn't an easy decision, but, and I also leave a great sadness that
Yeah.
I'm departing. I'm sure we can speak about that and, recognize everything in the future, but, yeah, it is bittersweet. You're absolutely right. I remember I joined here when my kids were 2 and 7.
Wow.
So lot of change, but this is a wonderful place to work. And I'll take a lot with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Missed.
Thank you.
I think that's it for tonight.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those items are approved. And I'll accept a motion to approve Schedule D, the Committee on Special Education.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any new business? No. Okay, so I think we can have a motion to adjourn into executive session.
And that's for the purposes of personnel, the
Personnel.
employment history of personnel.
Yeah. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We are adjourned.